If you're wondering who that partially clad woman is modeling in a wine commercial, it's longtime Subud member Maya Waterman, showing that one needn't lose one's joie de vivre just because you're in your 80s. Maya is our guest today to talk about the wine commercial, her acting career, and the inspiration she gets from her Lutti Hunt practice. Thank you for your time today, Maya.
You're welcome, Paul. Nice to be here.
How long have you been in Subud?
I was trying to figure that out. I think it's about 53 years.
Oh my God, 53 years. And
I'm still a sinner.
yeah, it feels like that. Isn't that something? This was after Coombe Springs.
Oh yeah, I was actually in art college, and I was a depressed art student, and one of my tutors connected me with this wonderful Jungian therapist in London who used to see artists and musicians and every which way. And she saw me, and she didn't ever charge me anything for ever actually. And I benefited hugely from that. However, one day she said, she was telling me about Subud, and she said, and then much later on, one day she said, I think you're ready for Subud. And so, because I loved her so much and respected her, I just didn't question it, didn't ask anything really. And that's how I came into Subud. And
It sounds like you were fairly open when that happened. So the opening, opened you more, but you were open to the possibility without being, skeptical or quizzical or asking a bunch of questions.
I didn't ask any questions. I do remember being in a Quaker hall in a rainy day in England, and I was being opened, and a drop of water fell on my head, and I thought that was a sign. I did. So anyway, so then yes, so that was I really enjoyed those days in Tunbridge Wells. I mean, in Beckenham, and then Hayata Savory in London. She, because I was teaching, and then I think, Hayata said, I've received, you should go to Tunbridge Wells. So I took my two little girls, off to Tunbridge Wells and opened my bakery. Papa was always talking about enterprises, and to this day, every time he talks about enterprises, I'm totally on point with that. I've always wanted and have done enterprises because I just love that. Just love it.
How did you end up in California?
Well, I married Mohsin Machado, and I met in Canada at the World Congress in Toronto, and subsequently we wed in Tunbridge Wells. He came to Tunbridge Wells, helped me with my bakery a bit, and that was and then we moved to Bristol and then to the States. Yeah. So, but yes, my entrepreneurship at that time was baking. I'd always loved baking, and so I converted the basement of my house into a bakery. And ended up buying the property because the solicitor really loved my enterprise, and he found an elderly lady who wanted to help me buy it. So yeah, and it was like £6,000, a 4-story building.
Is your enterprise now acting?
Yes, it is more or less, except the non-profit aspect of it hasn't come into my life with acting, although I tend to end up doing things that I always look for projects that have some aspect of community and non-profit to them. Acting, I guess in England, I always dreamt when I was a little girl in a wartime, I dreamt of going to, I don't know why, America, falling off the curb and being discovered. I don't know what happened, but it ended up that I was working at the Great Indoors in Burbank as a cashier, and 2 guys came in, and the next day they'd left a note wanting me to be the matriarch in their series. And I was discovered that way.
How many years ago was that?
Oh, that was when I was in about 1968. Oh, no, when I was 68. Sorry, when I was 68. Yeah, when I was 68. That's when I started acting. And so everything's been very serendipitous in that respect. And when I was working in a whole food bar making sandwiches, after that, just for a short period of time, one day this lady came in with dark glasses and a baseball cap, and she said, "Would you like to work the box office at my theatre?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." She said, "I'll pay you at the weekends to do that." And so this was a theatre on the street straight down from where I live now. And every time I drove by, I would see a bunch of actors reading their scripts. And I was like totally wanting to be there, totally wanting to be there. And I didn't have any money to do that because I was single parent. But this lady who was standing in front of me whilst I was making the sandwiches happened to be the wife of the man, the wonderful couple who ran that theatre. So I ended up going to the box office, working the box office, getting free drama lessons for like 12 years, and ended up running their non-profit organization for 12 years. So the theatre, the art and entertainment, the theatre, they put on these wonderful musicals, at-risk youth and others, people in recovery, with gritty, amazing songs and tremendous performances. And I brought in thousands of kids and grown-ups from all over the place, foster care homes, recovery places, you name it, everywhere, remand homes, everything. And that was very rewarding. So that's when my the community and acting sort of came together, because I was able to give back. And I really enjoyed that. Taught myself how to write grants and to various arts organizations and fundraise. Yeah. So,
The Claude Dubois ad is fantastic.
oh, is it?
It's-
Courtney Cox did the most amazing job, I thought. Yes. Yeah.
How did you get that gig?
Oh, I have an agent, and actually, I think I self-submitted for that. No, I did it online on a Zoom, and then I got a call back. Yeah, so, and the casting director liked me anyways, and I knew her assistant, but that doesn't get you the job. So yeah, that was, I just did my call back and let it go. I always let everything go. I don't keep a track of everything because I like to not obsess about it and just let it go, and see what turns up in my lap, so to speak. So, and I always feel with acting that I've done a lot of print work for big organizations and various things. I was on a billboard once in Nevada. I don't know if I should show you this.
We get some sense of that, sure.
So yeah, that was a billboard for Southern Nevada Water Company. But yeah, I've done lots of print work and short films, and I've never done anything big because I've always been looking after my family members, and also yeah.
You are modeling in this ad in a partially clothed manner.
Oh yeah, and they wanted me to put pasties on and all that stuff. I said, oh no, forget it. It's like, I don't need pasties. I used to model when I was an art student. I used to do life modeling for a German sculptor in St. John's Wood in Abbey Road, and just off Abbey Road. And yeah, so I was used to that sort of thing.
It's fantastic. I mean, it comes up, it really gets the point across that the ad is trying to make. And it's
Yes, it's live your life, and regarding acting, and yeah, I think things are meant to be, they happen, and I don't have to actually look very much for them oftentimes, I do I do the steps, and then things kind of plop into place, you know, and I'm happy with that. I really like writing, I think maybe more. I don't know.
You say that things are plopping into place. I'm wondering if that is because of your Latihan practice.
I do believe so. I do believe that I've trusted, and part of me is surrendered to that, you know, that knowing, because I'm a very anxious, shy person, or was when I was younger, and then having the gift of acting classes really enabled me to speak more, because I was always told to shut up as a child. So yes, everything falls into place, you know, even places where I live, you know. I got off the train in Tunbridge Wells uh, looking for somewhere to live. I walk up the street to the estate agent. He says, well, I did have something, but I'm afraid it's rented. So I thought, oh, okay. So 2 weeks later, I get a call, oh, it's available, you know. And the same here where I'm living now. I was looking for somewhere, I walked in the backyard, and the husband and wife were looking at the lemon tree or something. And they said, oh, I'm sorry, we just rented it. And a week later, it was available for me, you know. So, and, you know, same happens with parking and all sorts of things. I have my parking angels and my freeway angels.
Good juju.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That TV commercial leads us to believe that you have a joy for living. Is that an accurate portrayal?
sometimes.
What stops it?
I work on that on a daily basis, because a part of me can be negative and I wish not to be that person. So, and my family is great. They always pull me up very sharply, right on the nail, you know. So I'm able, because of them, to like change in the moment. So yeah, so, you know, and I'm very positive, actually.
What's the trick when you find yourself being negative? What do you do?
I give myself a different inner voice. I talk a different inner voice. I also explore. I've been doing a lot of past work, mainly through writing, I guess, and that kind of brings me pulls the veil away, so to speak, or the layers away. Yeah.
That different inner voice that you hear when you're trying to get yourself out of a negative mode, is that similar to the voice you hear when you're writing?
Well, I'm very spasmodic writer, you know. I mean, some days I can't write at all. Other days I sit under the tree outside my coffee shop, and just a thought comes and I start writing, you know. But I'm not, I'm maybe you're different. I don't have a discipline for writing. Yeah, I just do it like the poetry. It just came. I haven't written any poetry since, you know, and I might never write poetry ever again, you know. It just popped up in the middle of the night over a couple of weeks, but it just comes. Yeah, it's just there. I can't explain it. It's just there, you know. Just it's and I've been going backwards in my life, right back to wartime and that childhood experience forward, because I find it very, and I try not to write as if it's me, 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 me. It's just like, I just like writing little bits about things, you know, and experiences. And then occasionally I kind of weave in other stuff, but mostly it's 100% real, really. Yeah.
Would you care to read that poem you sent me about the wartime experience?
I have never been thrown out of my home or ordered to leave now or else. Never caressed my child's body washed up on the shore. Never had a gun pressed against my temple. Never witnessed my family slaughtered or blown apart. Never seen my neighborhood in ruins. Never begged for food or money. or mercy. Never walked 2,000 miles carrying my child. Never been oppressed or persecuted for my gender, race, or beliefs. I have watched foreign bombers flying over my backyard blanket tent with Flopsy the rabbit and Timmy the cat. Have slept awake under a heavy oak table while the bombs dropped, heard the whirring, silence. Then have ingested very loud noises. I jump. The saying goes, out of your skin. I still have my skin and legs. Have run to the corner store clutching coupon books for sweets. Have seen London fires far, far away, lighting up the night sky. And at 5 years old, street bonfires, fireworks on a day called Victory Day. The world in my eyes is a perfectly round watermelon with so many seeds, each capable of new life, purpose, pure intentions. It's also a pomegranate in pain. Its blood, a bittersweet song.
Beautiful. Thank you for taking time out to be with us today. I'm grateful for your work and grateful that you're my Subud sister.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.